Okay. I'm gonna try not to make this a bitch fest. I pretty much think I figured out maybe what company I might be going to, maybe. I had I'd done some research on them in the past, and I tried contacting them, and I sent them my application or resume, but they never responded. So I kind of blew them off. And you know, it's like with traditional jobs, you typically want to follow up with the company to let them know you're serious. But in trucking, it kind of works the opposite. They usually blow you up and harass you because the trucking companies are usually more desperate than you are. However, in some cases, you might want to bug them. You know, it's like if you reach out to a trucking company and they don't respond, that means they're not desperate, which means they might be a better company to work for. So the ones that are harassing you and blowing you up, trying to recruit you, maybe those are the ones we don't want to work for. And maybe we want to work for the ones where we have to bug them. And I didn't really think about that before till today. So, food for thought. Anyway, so I printed everything out when I was home, and I went through everything thoroughly. I didn't keep track of everything in great detail before. I was just skimming it and eyeballing it, and if it looked good, I just called it good. But when I got this new dispatcher, things just didn't add up, and it wasn't looking right. So I decided to, I called about a week or two ago to try to talk to payroll, and I got actually my dispatcher. And I asked him if he could transfer me to payroll, and he goes, "Oh, we don't transfer to payroll. What's the problem?" And he was kind of acting like a gatekeeper. And so that was kind of fishy. So I told him what the problem was, that it didn't look like I've been getting paid for some of my breakdowns and detention times. He goes, "Well, get me the pro numbers and I'll look into it." So when I got home, I printed everything out, and last night I went through everything in great detail. So I sent him this message this morning, and I also emailed it to payroll. Excuse me, hang on, let me drink some more water. Drink more water! I'm congested this morning. I almost didn't make the video because I'm congested. Okay. You probably already read all of it, or most of it. So he said to get you the pro numbers of what I didn't get paid for. I only went back to the first of the year payroll. I didn't check last year's. So, you know, there might be some missing from last year. And I think, see, I was broke down at Freightliner for about 24 hours. And because of my S-bar heater, because this one shop tried to tell me, "Oh, nothing's wrong with your S-bar heater, it works fine," even though I was throwing like 3 different codes. And and it wouldn't work. It would work for a little while, then it was shut down. And according to my research, the code was that it was overheating and shutting down. So it worked for a little while, then it overheated and it shut down. It was basically a fire hazard. So I got it to Freightliner. Well, I got it to a different shop, and they checked it out, and they sent me to Freightliner. And then they checked it out, and they basically ordered a new one, but the new one's not here yet. So they bypassed my 5-minute idle shutdown thingy. Anyhow, the SPAR heater still works intermittently, and even though it might be a fire hazard, I still use it sometimes. The temperature's above freezing outside, then I'll just go ahead and use the SPAR so it doesn't overheat as quickly or whatever. It doesn't overwork itself. And so far so good. But when it shuts down or it kills my batteries, because when it starts to overheat or short circuit or whatever, it's like it runs down my batteries real quick or something like that. So my truck starts beeping at me because the batteries are dead or dying, and so I'll fire up the truck and then I'll idle the rest of the night. But anyhow, so I was broke down at Freightliner last year for that, and I'm pretty sure I didn't get paid for that. And but anyways, I'm letting last year go. I'm just pressing this year's issues. Now, everything was pretty much fine last year with my old dispatcher, but then he ended up retiring. Now I got this new guy, and I've pretty much had problems with this new guy ever since. He talks like he wants to be honest and forthright or forthcoming and blah blah blah, but yet he's not. It's like actions speak louder than words, and he talks really fast. It's like he's trying to fast talk me, and I don't appreciate it. Anyhow, so I printed everything out when I got home. I went through everything in detail. Before, I was just eyeballing the digital copies, scanning it, but not in detail. I went back through our text to verify I could send screenshots if need be. 22.75 hours at $20 an hour is $455. And that's not counting some of the other stuff. I thought you said just yesterday you weren't going to blow smoke up my butt. You also told me that I would get paid for 34-hour reset. I've only got paid for one 34-hour reset in the last month and a half, but I hadn't documented that. Yeah. So it's like, in the last month and a half, I should have had, I don't know, 3 or 4 resets. And I only got paid for one. So, yeah. And then I found a mistake that I made, so I corrected it. I said correction, and the correction was this one here, because I was thinking it was that time that I had the dented rim that I picked up from Home Goods and had to get it fixed before I dropped it off at Home Depot. because I didn't want to leave the problem for the next guy. So, but I had to, you know, I marked it in the wrong spot. So I was thinking it was here for between Springfield and Topeka, but the problem was I forgot now. I have to go back and look at the paperwork. But I went to the shop after I picked up the Home Depot load going to Indiana. So, because I was looking at because I still have the shop paperwork as well. The nice thing about this company is, you know, I get to keep a copy of the bill of lading with me because I scan everything in. So I got the originals. And same with the work orders for the shop. So anyway, so yeah, I went back and verified and I made that correction. Anyhow, so I said that was a correction, and then I says, and one I didn't report because I forgot, so that one's on me. I'll eat that $80 or so. Which was this one. And that was the dented rim one. You know, it's like another driver basically passed the buck, left me a trailer with a dented rim. Or bent rim, really. It's not even dented, it was bent. When I picked it up, the trailer, the rim wasn't, or the wheel wasn't holding air. But after I got down the road a little bit, it started holding air. So yeah, I could have passed the buck and left it for the next guy. But that was a DOT violation, clearly. So I went ahead and got it fixed. Now, if it was just a low tire and it had the auto air on it, then and it aired itself up, then I would have let it go. You know, it wouldn't have been big. It's not a big deal. But if it had a low tire and the auto air wasn't working, then I would stop and get it fixed. But it's like, you know, if other drivers are passing the buck and I'm the one who's actually fixing the shit, I should get paid to fix the shit, you know? And they say I get paid for breakdown, so I should get paid for breakdown. But I haven't been. You did pay me for one breakdown in the last month and a half, and I didn't get paid for any of my detention times, not a single one. So, that's fucked up. So I got a new sheet that I'm going to be putting together, or that I put together. I got to tweak it a little bit. I've done this before in the past, and I'll be doing it from now on in the future. When I was working for Erickson Transport, they already had a sheet that we could fill out, and we got a carbon copy. So I could, you know, I had all that stuff. And then after that, I think I made my own for a different company, but then I slacked off. So yeah, here is detention time, 2.5 hours, not paid. Detention time, 1.75 hours, not paid. Detention time, 5 hours, not paid. Breakdown, 4.5 hours, not paid. Breakdown, 4.25 hours, not paid. Detention time, 4 hours, not paid. Now, and then here's that breakdown, 4.5 hours, not paid. breakdown I didn't report. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. We'll see if I get paid for that. Now, Payroll did respond, and they did say that they would look into it. So, and I sent all that to my dispatcher as well. So, I'm gonna go to my camera real quick. This is basically the sheet that I made. Breakdown, detention, layover, etc. Truck number, trailer number, blah, blah, blah. And so I could put all my notes on here. So like this morning, I had a 30-minute breakdown for replacing the headlights. I actually replaced it myself. Probably not a big deal, but I'm documenting everything now. And I'm going to look at everything in detail now. I should have been doing that before, but, you know, that's kind of what got me in trouble with HMD, was I wasn't documenting everything like I should have. And then I went back, and it was like several months or several things that didn't get paid, and then my dispatcher got in trouble for it. You know, so anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be printing these out every month or every week. Well, I go home every 3 weeks. So I'll be printing these out every 3 weeks, going through them and making sure I get paid for everything. Anyhow, meanwhile, I'm on my way to Wisconsin to pick up. Oh yeah, I just got this new app they never told me about before, where they can give me my loads ahead of time. So my dispatcher and I got into a fight a couple weekends ago because he told me over the phone one thing, and then he put on the computer another thing, and so I did what was on the computer because that was what I had in writing. And then he griped at me because I didn't do the load the way he told me to over the phone. It's like, well, I'm supposed to follow what's on the computer. I can't not follow what's on the computer. And he talks so fast, I can't remember everything he says when he tells me stuff over the phone. It's like, well, how can I retain everything you're telling me on the phone when you're talking 100 miles an hour? You know? So I started making him put everything in writing, and then he told me about this app. So now I can double check with the app, and if I make him text me what he wants me to do, I can basically double check and verify between the text, the app, and the tablet on what he wants me to do to make sure that we don't have that problem again. Because I just did what the computer told me to do. And it's his job to make sure the computer is accurate. And technically it was his fuck up. So, yeah. But now that I got everything in writing, if the computer is telling me what he's telling me to do, then I can say, hey, you know, you said to do this, but the computer's saying to do this. maybe you need to fix that. And which is what I shoulda, woulda, coulda done the last time, but he talked so fast I didn't remember what he said, and then I screwed up. And I didn't have it in writing what he really wanted me to do. I just had it in writing what I did, and I did what was in writing. So yeah, anyways, this company's kind of screwed up, but if I get paid for everything that they say that I'm supposed to get paid for, I'll make an extra maybe $6,000 a year, maybe $7,000, and then it wouldn't be so bad. But if they keep shorting me on my paycheck, $500 a month or whatever, then that's a problem. That being said, I told him the other day, with my experience and my quality, I should be making 10 to 15 cents more per mile than what I'm already making. Well, this one company that I might go to, they're paying 70 cents a mile, and they're paying hub miles, not stupid computer miles. So I might be going there. But anyhow, we're gonna go through all of these companies still. When I get to my pickup here in about 3 hours, I'll have some time to call one of these people whenever while they're loading me. So I'm gonna call these guys on my other phone that's Bluetooth to the truck with the speaker, surround sound system. I'm gonna call these people one at a time and interview them for you guys and for myself. And after I'm done going through all of these companies over the next couple months, then I'll have a good idea of who I might want to go work for. Now, these ones with exclamation marks, well, some of these are not trucking companies. Like this one here is the location of a female ginkgo biloba tree where I can go get seeds and sprouts in Kansas City. That being said, I've got some ginkgos growing on my land, so now I might have my own female ginkgo biloba trees. Don't know. Surely, possibly, maybe I do. We'll see. And this other one, 911 highway use. There's another phone number for basically us to call 911, and that is 112. So for highway use, we should be calling 112 instead of 911. So I try to use that instead of dialing 911. Sometimes I forget. But anyhow, yeah. Over the next couple months, I'm gonna wait till I'm actually here for 2 years, so it looks good for my resume, before I bounce. And another thing I want to do too is they're about to trade this truck in for a newer truck, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait until I get the newer truck, and then I'm probably gonna transfer back to the Olathe terminal, my old terminal. I'll transfer back there because I know my old dispatcher prefers, would prefer to have a newer truck when I quit to get to another driver. So, because whenever I quit the other terminal, he took away my new truck and gave me this old truck, thinking he was punishing me. But he also wanted to keep that new truck at that terminal. It was partly about him, his wants and needs, over my wants and needs. But he didn't realize I actually like these older trucks better. So I'm gonna wait till I get the newer truck, and then I'm gonna transfer back to my other terminal and my old terminal, and then that way I'll be closer to home when I quit. And then in July, by July, I should have made my decision on where I'm gonna go. So yeah. I guess that's it. But yeah, like that one driver said, you know, it's like, I don't even remember how he said it. Never mind. I'll just let that go. But anyhow, you know, I should be making more money, and I should be able to have more home time with my quality and my experience. Because I take care of my equipment, I run hard. I didn't used to run as hard as I do now because I had an IT business on the side. But now, I don't have that IT business. You know, I get bored whenever I'm broke down or laid over or whatever. I did just re-up my Gold's Gym, my Planet Fitness membership. So when I do have my 34-hour resets, I can go work out. And I could have maybe worked out last night because I ran out of hours at the customer and there was a Planet Fitness around the corner. But I had this paperwork I had to go through. So I ended up doing that instead. But yeah, I run harder now than I used to because I don't have the IT business anymore. I'm basically liquidating the IT business. So every month I put one of my domain names, or every 2 weeks. It takes about a week to do the transfer and all the setups and everything, and sometimes it might take 2 weeks. So about every week or two, I'll transfer one of my domain names that I want to sell to the server that I sell my domain names through, and I put it up for sale. And I'd say half of my domain names I'm going to let expire. The other half, I'm basically renewing for 10 years and then transferring them to my other server where I'm going to list them for sale. And then if they don't sell within the next 10 years, I'm going to let them go. And the only babysitting I'm going to do with that is every January I'll go in and look at all the domain names that I have listed for sale. Whatever hasn't sold yet, I'll mark them down 10%. And then yeah, so I'll mark them down 10% every year. And then of course every year we have like a 5 to 10% inflation. So eventually I'll bring my price down to what the price is that people will, whatever people are willing to pay. You know, because it's kind of like, it's digital real estate. So it's like regular real estate, it's only worth what people are willing to pay. So, you know, like Elon Musk, he paid $75,000 for the Tesla domain name. You know, for him it was worth it. And who knows, you know, somebody might want to spend, you know, a couple grand, a few grand on one of my domain names. This website basically gives me a ballpark figure of what they think it's worth. And then I got a couple other websites that gives me a ballpark figure of what they think it's worth, and I kind of use that as a baseline to figure out what I think it's worth. And then I list them for sale. like I said, if they don't sell this year, I'll mark them down 10% next year. And if they don't sell within the next 10 years, then they expire. So, yeah, after, I don't know, about 10, 20 years, I won't have but maybe a couple dozen domain names left. Basically, I got my Meat Milk Goat website. And I got my farm website. Let's see here, let's go back. My internet's not so good up here, apparently. But I'm not really doing Meat Milk Goats hardcore like I was gonna do before, because I discovered dividend stocks. And that's another thing. That's an extra $6,000 a year that I'm potentially losing over here if I don't get paid for my detentions and breakdowns, that I could potentially put into dividend stocks or my IRA. So yeah, the more money I can make, the more money I can put into my IRA and dividend stocks, and I can retire sooner. Let's try this one. There we go, this one's working. So this is Pete. We almost ate Pete, but he got a reprieve. So yeah, I'm selling truckerday.com, keeping the poly community for now. I might sell it too eventually. I'm keeping my corporate umbrella type domain names like kclai.com, kclamanagement.com, keeping those, and keeping this one for a little while anyways, until I quit doing goats. Oh, that's Marcus Rothgrave. freefoodandmedicine.net. But I also have freefoodandmedicine.org. And I'll probably keep that one for a little while too. I'll probably eventually sell it as well. But anyways, yeah. Dividend stocks, that's the way to go. Buy land, silver, gold, have an IRA, and have dividend stocks. My brother sent me this the other day. Let me go to the family chat. This guy said to go to a certain brokerage company and open a mutual fund, and he said if you put $20,000 in this mutual fund, it'll pay you $3,000 every 30 days or 90 days, basically $12,000 a year. So according to that math, if you put in $200,000, you'll get $120,000 a year. And that doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna have to look into that. But this is the video.
Go to the bank, get you a wrong.
Brother, all right.
Put $3 grand a year in there, man. Don't
Stanley account.
Okay, go to Morgan Stanley and ask for mutual fund and energy.
Right.
Take 20 grand. You get 3 grand every 90 days. Go to Morgan Stanley.
I got me Morgan Stanley account.
Okay, go to Morgan Stanley and ask for mutual fund and energy.
Right.
Take 20 grand. You get 3 grand every 90 days.
For forever.
Forever.
One time payment.
One time investment.
So me, I'm 23. I plan on living to 107. So 3 grand for 107 years for 90 days.
Yep. For every 90 days. Here it is. It's $12,000 a year. Go to the bank. Get you a Roth.
Brother, all right.
Put 3 grand a year in there. Right?
So yeah, look into that. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Anyways, Morgan Stanley. Once I get 20 grand, I'll put it in there and see what happens, or whatever, put whatever the minimum is and see if the math computes. If the math computes, I might start dumping all my money in that instead of dividend stocks, or take my dividend stocks and roll it into that. I don't know, whichever. But that sounds better than my IRA and my dividend stocks. So, yeah, $200,000 and you can retire. Shit, yeah. That's the way to go. Anyways, all right, party on.